Ciao y'all, NaturallyKenya here and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to update all of you new subscribers on why I moved to Italy and how exactly I chose Rome. Last time I discussed this topic was back in October of 2016, so it's been almost 4.5 years since that upload, and a lot has changed since then. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload. Let's get into the video. On why exactly I chose this path, and because there are some new subscribers here, I wanted to basically let you guys know exactly why I chose Italy. So if you're new here, my name is Kenya, yes, like the country, and I'm an American girl documenting my experiences while living life abroad in Rome, Italy. From food to travel to tips to help you make your stay abroad that much more comfortable. This is everything you'll find on my channel. So a bit of a backstory on why I found this love for Italy, and just to make it quick, you know, using our time efficiently. When I was about 9 years old, I heard this beautiful language on TV and I was wondering, what is this language? I have no idea what it is, and it turned out to be Italian. And ever since that day, I started to immerse myself in the language from the books. I was literally checking the Billboard Top 100 charts in Italy, which sounds ridiculous, but that's what I had back then, you know, the Billboard Hot 100 charts. And I would check to see who are the new up-and-coming artists, and it was like Tiziano Ferro, Laura Pausini, and Zero Assoluto, people like this. And this all influenced my, number one, language skills for Italian, the need to know the language, the desire to learn the language, as well as trying to understand a bit of the culture as well. So basically, after hearing this language on TV, that's when my obsession began. From that point, I would carry all of my Italian books to school. It's funny because I wasn't even taking Italian class. We didn't even have that offered in any of my schooling. We had like Spanish and German, and I think French, but Italian was not an option. So I was like, I will learn Italian by myself from these books. I didn't have a tutor or anything. It was just something that I wanted to do in my free time. So between classes, sometimes during class, oops, sorry teachers, I would actually take out the books and study. I would study Italian even though I had no exam to take. And that's really how my passion for Italy kind of was ignited, by that small burning flame in the back of my mind that one day I would make it to Italy. So although I was obsessed with Italian, I was also obsessed with Legos, and that's why I actually decided to study engineering when I went to university. So if you don't know, that is technically my background. I do have a background in engineering, and that is what I studied in the US. And after gathering many years of work experience in that sector and interacting with all of my bosses, the upper management, I noticed that many of them had master's degrees focused in a specific area of engineering that I felt like I would get the best exposure to in Europe. Now, that being said, I'm a person that really does plan out every aspect of my life, really as much as possible, as much as I can. And so I knew that no matter what, there's no way I could move to Italy without a plan. And my plan was to actually continue my studies because I believe that would make the easiest transition for me at the time to not only live my Italian life that, you know, I had in my dreams, but also to ensure that I was doing something else for my education and my career prospects and just my overall personal development. So I basically put my Italian dream together with my passion to continue my studies, and that is how I ended up in Italy. Now, moving on to the next question is, how exactly did I choose Rome? So it seems simple really, but no, I actually think it is simple. I was gonna say something else. No, I actually think it is pretty simple. So when I was orchestrating this plan to move abroad to Italy back in 2015 and saving all of my internship coins, the first step, of course, is sending applications to see what the universities say. Will they accept you into their master's degree program? So at that point, I had decided to apply to universities in both Milan and Rome, obviously to keep my options open. I received an acceptance letter within probably 2 or 3 days to both of the programs, which I was shocked about because I've never seen an acceptance sent so fast. So I don't know if I was just a wonderful student, that's what I like to think, but it was really shocking and also really exciting at the same time to get those acceptance letters so quickly because it felt like I was on the right path to Italy. So with both of those acceptance letters in hand, I actually got in contact with my Italian consulate in the US to kind of ask around, like, how does a study visa work? What are the required documents I need to submit? There was a very particular line in that email that kind of shocked me at the time, and let me read it to you word for word. Quote, "The formal application for pre-admission can only be presented for one university." Like what? Like what? I didn't know that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to choose whether I want to go to Rome or Milan. This is really overwhelming. I did my research for a few days. I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know which university should I choose. Should I go to Rome or Milan? And that is a huge debate, even in Italy with the Italians. Which one's better, Rome or Milan, North versus South? All these things is a very complex discussion. That is a rabbit hole of, oh my gosh, don't go down that rabbit hole. So I spent the next few days crunching the numbers, trying to see exactly how my student budget would work in both cities. So at the end of the day, I did choose Rome, and that was predominantly because of the language skills required for the master's degree program. In Rome, the program was entirely in English, whereas in Milan, the program was both in English and Italian, and I knew that I did not have the time to learn Italian to an intermediate level before actually arriving in Italy. Therefore, I chose Rome. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into the debate with Milan versus Rome, at least not in this video. We are not opening that can of worms, but I do want to mention overall that Milan is less touristy than Rome, and it is more of the business capital of Italy, whereas you go to Rome for more of a taste of the Italian culture, you know, dive into the architecture, as Rome kind of functions as the administrative center of Italy. So they really do have two different vibes. So if you're into the more modern, luxurious lifestyle and fashion, you do want to choose Milan. But I did like the idea of going to Rome and just embracing many of the traditional elements of the Italian culture and the Italian experience. During my first trip to Italy, I did travel to many places in the north, and I felt like I was ready to experience something a bit different. So that's another reason why I chose Rome. So why exactly Italy? Well, I did work for many years in the US, and although I do expect a bit of pushback on this comment potentially, but this work-life balance in the US sometimes can be really abysmal. It can even be difficult to see your family after work because you're exhausted, or maybe you went to the gym and there's just not enough hours in the day. And I just felt like I would like to see another aspect of things before locking myself down into the US way of doing things. So I wanted to really expand my horizons and understand how other cultures live. So that work-life balance made me kind of struggle to see my life in the US, and I wanted to take some time while doing my master's degree in Italy to kind of evaluate how I wanted to proceed with my career, knowing that portion of things. There is a work-life balance here as well in Italy, but it's just a bit different. Now, that's not saying that some people don't work all day, all night, and on the weekends they do, but I just feel like there is more of a value on living your life freely, having happy hour in the sun, enjoying your friends and your relationships. Things that I feel like we put under such a time crunch sometimes in the US. Speaking generally, of course, but that's how I felt. I felt like I didn't know if I wanted to lock myself into that system at the time of not exactly enjoying every second and every day of my life, even for 2 hours a day. Now, that's not without saying that my move to Italy was difficult at times. There were many nights where I shed a tear my first year of moving to Italy, just because it was really overwhelming sometimes. And yeah, you see it all on Instagram, everything looks perfect. But my first year was really a struggle, not only with the language, understanding the culture, understanding exactly how the exams are taken in Italy. It's a completely different process than in the US. It was really overwhelming at times. Now, looking back on it 4.5 years later, was it worth it? Absolutely. It really opened my eyes to understanding how another culture can live, prioritizing what is really important in life, and also increasing a lot of my personal development and my technical skills in engineering that I didn't know that I would be able to acquire while living in the US. But I really do think that it paid off, and I really am enjoying my time here in Italy. And I don't know what the future holds, but I definitely say that I enjoy every day while living here in Rome, and it's such a beautiful city. Sometimes I really have to pinch myself that I cannot believe I made it here, you know? And I feel like that's something that a lot of us have to do. Maybe we just go along living life so long without actually analyzing how far we've came since the beginning of our journeys. And I also think that it's important to, you know, sometimes stop and evaluate, like, hey, I did that. Because I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. I feel like it's something I kind of overlook on a daily basis just because it seems like such a routine in my life now. But it really is amazing to have that moment of gratitude where you're like, wow, I actually did this, you know? Like, we should all do that. So that's my homework for all of you guys tonight. Go home or wherever you are and just think, wow, what am I grateful for? What have I done today that was really great? What have I accomplished so far in the last year? And I'm just saying, you never know where your life will take you. And if you are thinking about moving abroad, maybe I can offer a bit of motivation in that aspect to you from this video, from outlining exactly why I chose Italy, why I chose Rome, and how I ended up here. So that's all I have in this video for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload, and I will see you guys on the next one. Ciao, y'all.